Hello everyone, Thomas Fleming here. As you can see, I'm out and about today. The weather is warming up enough that I can actually get out and go for a hike. It's not going to be real hot today, but I think it's going to get close to 60. Considering it was 28 this morning, I'm happy to be out. No jacket, no hat. I did grab a little bit of video coming down here, another little Armadillo cam video. There were actually 3 of them coming out here that I saw, but I only filmed one. Some other people were filming the other one that's over here. I'm going to sit down on my swing here. We got lots of people here today. Some out here in powered bikes, some on people-powered bikes. The water's gone down a little bit from the rain. As I sit here, though, I constantly, every time I sit here, I see signs of humanity. What I'm talking about is I'm looking at the river, watching trash float downstream. That's the kind of stuff I wish we could get people to do a better job taking care of. We don't have to worry about global warming or any of that other garbage which they're using to control us. This is just plain people dumping trash everywhere. They have no respect for the outdoors. All right. There's a bunch of kids over there heading to the park. If it gets too noisy, I'll stop, but you can hear them in the background. All right. Well, for today, I want to talk about scheduling. For those of you that are my age and at any age, if you have to go on any kind of a medication that you have to take every day, we usually find the only way we can do this and not miss a day is to have a pill box. You get one for the week or for the month. I used to just go ahead and get a month long, and I just go ahead and put all 4 weeks in when I was taking all my pills. I'm actually not taking any right now because all the things that I was taking pills for were borderline, and they didn't want them to get worse, so they put me on medication. I don't know if doctors get kickbacks or not, but you wonder sometimes. I worked on my diet, and I got my blood pressure, which was borderline, back down below, so I'm okay. Cholesterol was a little bit high. I got it back down. Some cholesterol is good. You got to have the right kind. So don't do like I did and just stop doing things unless you're doing something about them, and you might need medical advice. I am not giving medical advice. I tell you what I do. So currently, I'm not taking anything on a regular basis. Now, I do have times when I occasionally eat something I'm not supposed to. I have aspirin or Tylenol in case I do have some aches and pains or whatever. I typically don't get headaches. So you may have to have stuff occasionally, but I don't have my pill boxes with me anymore. They're somewhere in storage if I need them. I'm still watching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't tell what it is. It's just trash. You can tell something's floating in the water. And who knows where it came from. It comes from. This river is long. It goes for miles and miles. It could be from anybody. You can go through town. There's multiple towns that can go past. There's multiple parks. Okay. So you get your pill box so you don't miss your pill. What do you do so you don't miss your scheduled appointment with God? Now, you can put this stuff on a schedule, and you can set your alarm on your phone. That can help. But you got to do something to make sure you don't miss. If we miss a medication, you can have adverse reactions. Your body's used to it. It's helping it to do what it's supposed to do. So you put your pillbox out so you don't forget it. And you put it where you're going to see it every morning, maybe in the kitchen or the refrigerator where you're going to get your coffee. What do you do for God every day? You got to start the day with God. You should be praying without ceasing, so that means all day long you talk to God, but you don't have to stop what you're doing to do that. But you start your day with God. If you don't, you can have adverse reactions. The day can start off wrong because you didn't put the devil at bay. He looks for every opportunity. The devil can't indwell us as Christians. He doesn't send a demon to take us over. That's not how it works anymore. He just has demons at very selected spots to dangle something in front of us shiny so we go, oh, look. We can choose to look or we can choose to just go on. After a while, if you don't get the if Satan doesn't get the reaction, you try something else. He's got his whole bag of tricks. As any comedian or stage performer is, you get up on stage and you start your act, and if they don't laugh, you try another set of jokes. You've got your series of jokes, series for old people, for young people, for mixed crowds, whatever it is, you've got them. Well, Satan has his bag of tricks too, and he knows mankind not as well as God, but far better than we do. He might help the neighbor get a new pickup truck. You may see him getting his brand new 120-inch TV because they deliver it in a big truck. And it has the side of the name of the TV company on the side, so everybody can see it. I don't know if you remember seeing the TV show Keeping Up Appearances. Mrs. Bucket, or Bouquet as she pronounced it, having to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. It's a funny show because of the length of trouble that she would go to make sure that people knew when she did something. She was getting a new living room suite, couch and chair and all that stuff. And she's telling everybody it's the same one that's in some famous, wealthy person's house, a royalty's house. So she's getting a copy. It's not the same thing because I'm sure theirs is gold-plated and hers is gold-colored thread or something. But it looks like it, and so that's close. So she wants to make sure that the van that delivers it has the writing on the far side so that her neighbor across the street could see it. People do go to those lengths to get credit for keeping up. It's like she wanted to make sure that the alarm she had put in was going to make a loud noise so that everybody in the neighborhood would hear it. And the box had to be one that everybody would see on the outside of the house. It's a really funny show. It's an old British sitcom that's been around, I don't know, it's 20 years ago, I guess. Everybody in it, I think, is dead. That's the sad part about watching these old shows. That's all we have left of that era, that legacy that we have. That was one that I used to like to watch, and what's the other one? The department store. Are You Being Served? Yes, that was another one. Same thing, they're about the same era. Very talented actors in that, and very talented writers, which is the most important part, frankly, of any show. The writers have to be good. I see that they're trying to start up again Night Court, and it's not getting the reviews. The competition for what the original Night Court had is immense. I don't know that they can come up with a good enough talent for it, even though they've got, what's his name? Played Dan Fielding, Lawrence, somebody or other, I can't remember his name now, but he's back on there, and so's, the blonde from Big Bang Theory. Not the bimbo across the hall, the other one. They're all scientists, but in any case, it's hard to redo a series that was very popular. but they're trying. And hopefully they try to stay neutral to all the political garbage that's going on. That's one of the first things I notice in a TV show, whether or not they can just stick with humor. People do enough dumb things on their own without having to add a political flair to it. But those old British shows are pretty good for that. Keeping Up Appearances, I highly recommend that show. It's almost, I don't know if it's not anywhere near like All in the Family was as far as, slang and things like that they'd got away with back then that they wouldn't today, but it's still of that time, and it's British humor, which tends to be a little bit more open than ours. But it's not a bad language show or risque show. It's the humor that we need to have. We all need humor. We're talking about medicine. Well, humor is the best medicine. If you can find a way to get some good humor, that would be good. There are comedians that I watch on YouTube. For the most part, they've got pretty clean acts. One guy's Jeff Allen, I think his name is, that he's a Christian. He tells a story that he was really an atheist until he finally got to the bottom of his emotional ladder, and then someone turned him on to God, and that's all it took. He's going, what's the meaning of life? And they finally got the guy to help him out. People like that, they have to get to the bottom. So a lot of times, and that's what we find a lot of times when we're trying to reach out to people. If they're doing good, they don't want to hear from you. They don't need you. They don't need God, so they don't need you to tell them about God. Just stay patient. Sometimes their life will go down fast, sometimes it won't. But stay patient and let them know that you're friendly and can be talked to at times. So when they do have a problem in their life and they're going, what's the meaning? Why am I going through all this work and I'm getting nowhere? That's going to be a big question here coming up. When the economy is trashed, they're saying that the economists are saying, if you remember, my parents were Depression era, and they would tell stories, and they were affected throughout their entire life by the way they grew up. My mom was an absolute hoarder because of that. She bought everything at Goodwill. Everything. When I had to clean her place out, we filled up a full apartment complex dumpster. Those big double wide ones they pull up on the trucks. We filled up one of those with her extra stuff. And most of it not any good. That's why we didn't even bother to keep it. I used to get toys as kids that were broken. I don't remember. I think the very first time I got something new was a bicycle in 4th or 5th grade or something. It will mentally affect you. So you've got to make sure that you're focusing on God. I've talked about, temptation. You've got to be ready to give up everything. Everything you've got. It's what the one big round thing organization wants. I wish I could get totally over on Rumble and Facebook, but you guys aren't moving fast enough. So I'll keep here while I can, but I got to really watch what I say. I'm surprised during my little rant that I did, my live rant, that I didn't say stuff that got me into trouble, but there was nothing on it, so I guess I'm okay. I guess the average is that I don't say things I shouldn't, so they're not putting me on the watch list. But I just can't, I got to stay away from the news. It's like, why are we letting this stupid balloon still go over us? I think they're going to blow it up when it gets out over the Atlantic. That's the current plan. They're falling asleep at the wheel, frankly. They should have caught it coming into the United States and shot it down immediately there. Instead, and this isn't a little itty-bitty, you see these guys, they're holding a little balloon and they let it go up in there, and that's their weather balloon. It's going to go up and catch the winds aloft, that kind of stuff. That's not what this is. This is some gigantic one. They said it's got a package hanging below it the size of a bus. What kind of a package is it? Spying? I suppose it could have hazardous material in it, and if we shoot it down, they say, well, you shouldn't have shot it down, you deserve what you get. So that might be why they're holding off. But they didn't say that in the beginning. I think everybody complained, and Biden finally said, okay, we'll take care of it. But after it gets out over the open waters again. And I guess they can always deny. They ought to just shoot it down and deny, just like Israel does. They do all these attacks, and they deny everything. They defend themselves, which is what their government is supposed to do, protect the people. Okay. Well, I didn't do any Bible studies for this, so let me think about it, and I may tack some on to the end because I got about 5 minutes. So let me close off here, and I'll tack some stuff onto the end if I can think of it. If not, I'll just catch it on the next video. I've got a couple of minutes of Armadillo cam anyway I can put on the end. I got to keep the videos at maximum 30 minutes, just because of the sheer time it takes to upload. My last camping site was really nice because I had full 5G, just uploaded immediately. I could even go live. I can't do that here. So here I've got to stay 2 videos ahead, tomorrow and 1 more day. That way I've got a day if I need to. I can sit in my campsite with one bar and upload a video, but it takes literally 12 hours. I can get most of it at night, which is okay, but then during the day it takes up bandwidth, so I can't go online and look at stuff, so I got to be careful. I do go to the visitor center every couple of days, if not every day, depending on what I'm doing. And I can use their Wi-Fi, but it's not stable. You can't entrust getting this up to the average person, so it's a good thing I've got a good technical background. God knows I can get it up there somewhere, even if I have to drive into town and sit below the cell tower, which I have done. But I need to go to the market at least every 3 days. I can't carry a whole lot in my coolers, and I'll have to go to the market tomorrow, so I can upload this one when I do that. And then I'm okay. So I might start it tonight, I don't know. We'll wait and see. All right, that's all I have for now. Stay safe. Keep watching God, not the man behind the curtain. And I think there's a whole team back there behind the curtain now. Keep an eye on God. He will take care of you. Till we meet in the clouds, God bless. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our Bible study. It's so nice to not have to look like I'm bundled up for a winter storm. There's a slight covering of clouds over us, but because the sun's right there beating on me, but it's not solid, which is cool. And it's a warm afternoon, warmer than it's been. We maybe get up to 60. That's okay. I'm not short sleeve weather yet, and I'm not in my actual shorts, which I will be in the summertime. Okay. We talked about preparing for every day and doing what you need to do to get the day started. Well, let's take a look at Philippians 4:6. Start your day this way. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, and the peace of God. You want that peace of God? Trust Him, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds through Christ Jesus. These are familiar verses. Should be. These are memory verses if you can commit them to memory, which I have trouble doing, but I have them marked. My Bible is marked. Now, it's not marked up like Barry Oz is, or some other people, but I have it marked. John Samuel Barnett, he's another teacher that I like that marks his Bible. It's okay to mark your Bible. It's okay to have an old Bible on the shelf that you don't use anymore because it's marked up so much, you can't find the stuff you're looking for. Get a new one and mark it up. Every time you look at a verse, you may get a different meaning. And I'm continuing on in verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good rapport, if there is any virtue, if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. The old saying, you are what you eat. Well, I'm a jelly sandwich, I don't know. Actually, I had a Subway sandwich for lunch. These things which you learned and received and heard and saw in me, these do, and the God of peace will be with you. Sage advice. The thing is that you've got to remind yourself of these all the time, because Satan is really quick and easy to get your mind off track. Okay. I had a different colored pen here. I am at Romans 8:28. We all know that things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. If God wants you to do something, he will prepare the way, prepare the day, and you don't have to worry about anything. For whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed in the image of his Son. We're predestined in the sake that God knows the outcome. Day to day, we can argue with God. We can say, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. Go do our own thing. Depending on what the need is, what he wants from us, and where we are in our training, he may let us get away with that scot-free. He may put blocks in our way that we can't get past. He's going to do what is best for us and best for him in the long run. But he knows if we're predestined, he knows where we're going, and he knows what we're capable of. He's just trying to get us there is the hard part for him, without forcing his will on us. So from that point of view, we're not predestined, other than the outcome. So it might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he predestined, these he also called, and whom he called, these he also justified, and whom he justified, these he also glorified. God will do everything. If he calls you to be a servant for him to do something, you don't have to know how to do it. You don't have to know who to do it with or how to talk to him. You don't have to know anything. Just be available. God will do the rest. He'll lead you along, like you would lead a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old along. You hold their hand and you walk them along. Tell them to clean up their room. They don't want to clean up their room. Yelling at them isn't going to do any good. The best thing you can do is get down on the floor with them and help them clean up their room. You throw something in the basket, they throw something in the basket. That's how you work with a 3-year-old. Well, God's used to working with lots of 3-year-olds. He knows how to do it. He understands psychology. Okay. Thank God that he has that patience for us. And thank God that he has a future for each and every one of us. Now, we don't have a long future here on earth. We have an eternity with him. But don't go to heaven empty-handed. Take someone with you. Okay, blessings. It's our Armadillo cam again. It was cold this morning. I came out later to eat. Got to eat every day. hiding behind the tree. There he goes.
I've never seen one before.
Well, they're all over the place here. It was too cold for them this morning, so they stayed in, so they got to get their daily food. They do a lot of damage. They dig up all over the place.
Yeah, that's what somebody was saying when yeah, they're tearing up the ground. Yeah, someone was like, oh, they're a nuisance. They'll totally ruin your yard. I was like, well, they're still cute. Yeah,
There's one around here. I got some pictures of him a week or so ago where his back was all scarred up. Something tried to attack him. He's pretty big, a lot bigger than this one.
There's something over here. Oh, is that another one?
Yeah, up on the top.
Yeah.
That's the one with the scar.